Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, guys. I hope you all are doing great. So, Sampath, to mute yourself. So, I welcome all of you to this entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem in post-corona era webinar, which is going to be taken by Ms. Prajita Prasad. So, before moving into this session, I'd like to go with some introduction of Mrs. Prajita Prasad, ma'am. She's currently the founder and director of Connect Consulting. She has been a part of lot of ecosystems, especially the startup ecosystem in Delhi. She's also a partner of Startup Buddy, if you had of known of. Startup Buddy is a venture incubation. So yeah, today's session is really going to be excited because we are going to get her experience about the same, about the ecosystem, about the startup ecosystem. So hold your seat tight for coming 1 hour. So please be interactive throughout the session. Just use your chat box and don't try to create any kind of disturbance during this session because we all are here to be productive. So that's why don't waste your time as well. And if you have any issues regarding anything, you can hit in the chat box. And I feel, guys, you all are excited for the session. So keep hitting the chat box with word excited. Come on, guys, show some excitement, show some energy. Thank you. I can see Ravi has done the same. So thank you, Ravi. What about others? If you guys face any kind of issue regarding my voice, just let me know in the chat box. Might be there is some network issue from my side, so that's why. Because the weather outside is not good. So we'll start the session at sharp 3. So looks like our mentor has also joined. So we will start the session at 4:05 because there are yet more people to join. Guys, keep hitting the chat box with word excited because I hope you all are excited for today's session. What about others, guys? Come on, hit the chat box with word excited because I hope everybody excited for today's session. So if you have, meanwhile, if you have any question, just write it down somewhere else in your notepad because the session is going to be short. So you need to be precise with the question. as well. So it would be better if you can write it down prior. And guys, do check yourself that you are comfortable with your net connection and all. Guys, do mute yourself because I can still hear some noise in the background. So our mentor has also joined. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Ayush.
How are you, ma'am?
All good, all good.
So
I
till
think,
now,
yes.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please tell me.
So guys, come on, hit the chat box with word excited because I hope you are excited for today's session. Just, ma'am, over to you, ma'am. I'm making you the co-host.
Sure. I don't know why Zoom giving some issue here. Shifting the net, because I could see that my Zoom is hanging.
Ma'am, you can, if you want, you can share your screen. I'm just in my
Yeah, sure.
screen sharing.
I would suggest that I could see that some of them are still joining.
Yes, ma'am. So if
So
we can
let's
wait
wait
for
for two. Let's wait
sure.
for 2 more minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
That's better.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Guys, if you have any doubt, just hit the chat box and be ready with all your questions. Like, meanwhile, we are starting the session. So if you have any doubt regarding anything, just be there with your question because we don't have much time and you'll not get a lot of time for the same. So be precise with the question as well. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. I could see a lot of us have joined, and I think, like Ayush was saying, that we don't have a lot of time. So it would be good that we start talking and then build the session so that others who are interested can join in. Uh, I could see, yes, we have quite a few of us, Ayush.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I think my audio and video both are working fine, right? Perfect, perfect. So I'm not sure how much you guys know me or something. So let me first introduce myself, and then we would get on to the topic for the day. And I would take all your questions towards the end of the session. In between, feel free to write all your questions, queries in the chat box so that we don't miss them out. So myself, Aprajita Prasad, I hold a master's in biotechnology followed by executive MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. I have worked in both in India and I was based in Europe for a couple of years. Have more than 15 years of work experience in business research and strategy consulting. Currently, I'm the founder director for MetaConnect Consulting, and we are based out in Noida. We also have one of our offices in Gurgaon. So I have just texted the link for our firm. You guys can check it out, follow it, and what, so that something or the other keeps happening. Now, when we talk about this entrepreneurship journey, what I would do is, firstly, I would narrate something from my life experience, how this journey started, and then I would pick up, I have a presentation, I'll share that, so that we talk about the entire ecosystem that is there in place. So, you know, to give you, I would like to keep it a much interactive kind of a session, because that is what would build a lot of rapport, understanding, and that is what is required to understand this segment. So I started my journey, you know, with a master's in biotech, pure science kind of a background, and I joined Accenture, you know, as management consultant. So, you know, doing something where I didn't have a degree. That was my first thing. I was doing the work of a management consultant without having an MBA. But nevertheless, most of the tasks that we learn is on job. And, you know, after some putting extra effort to things, I picked up the job. After working for a few years, I realized that, you know, I need to structure myself a little better, so that I equip myself when I'm going in front of my clients or, you know, customers or investors, because what I'm trying to sell them across, I don't have a background into. And that's where I did MBA. Like, you know, most of you guys are currently pursuing or have dreams to pursue. And after doing my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, I started working with a lot of players. You know, I started my journey from established player, be it Accenture, be it TCS, be it the NASDAQ listed players like Hydra and Struggles. So after working and learning from these established players, I moved on to startups. I moved on to venture cap VC funded startups like Chronosis Partners and others, where we build the entire team and business unit from scratch. And that was a very huge learning experience to me. And based on that learning experience, I later moved on to start my own consulting firm some 3.5 years ago, which is MetaConnect Consulting. And we have 3 verticals here. We deal into number 1, business research, number 2, strategic consulting, and number 3, startup advisory. Now, when we come on to the third vertical of ours, which is startup advisory, we do a lot of work across different segments, that is from ideation to fundraising. We help guys do business planning, pitch deck, go-to-market strategy, financial modeling, getting onto the investor network, and all those things. And with that expertise, I'm on board of a lot of incubators and accelerators. So that's how my journey has been. And when I talk about this journey, guys, it's interesting to see, when even after the backing or the learning from the established players and practicing it with a funded startup, when I started MetaConnect 3.5 years ago, I was struggling. I was like lost. I did not know a lot of things, like most of the new entrepreneur. Because when you are working, you know just one side of the game. You know the operations, you know your product, you know your business, you know the marketing. But running your own business or the entrepreneurial journey is about everything. You need to know the compliance side, you need to know the network side, you need to know a lot many more things. Uh, at that point, like many of us, we do make mistakes and then learn from them. So after some bit of my learning curve, I would say it's been I would say one entire year, I would say, you know, that entire cycle where what are the compliances, what are the things that has to be done, that I learned over the year, how to file the financial papers, balance sheet, and all those things. that's where I realized that, I need to share these learning experiences, these entrepreneurial journey, or the entire how the ecosystem works with the future or the budding or the fellow entrepreneurs. That's very important. And trust me, there has been a lot of shift, I would say, a dramatic shift towards the enabling startup ecosystem. Let me share my screen and share a presentation. I would not go slide by slide because that would be very heavy and lengthy discussion, but I would keep it as a more as a yardstick so that we cover most of the concepts that I want to cover today. Uh, I hope my screen is visible now. By the time it's getting on to the full mode, let me come back to what we were talking. So like I said, it is a very enabling or a startup ecosystem, as I call it. It's very enabling. It's very collaborative. Having worked into the corporate and then moving on to the startup ecosystem, it's like everyone is so much there to help each other. One of the reason is because there is no one player can thrive on their own. And in the last few years, a lot of emphasis has been given by the government to raise the entrepreneurial journey in our country. And a lot of players have also come into play to understand and help support. So when we talk about this, let's first quickly understand and see what is a startup ecosystem, right? You all are budding entrepreneurs. Some may have already started their journey. Some may be thinking about getting onto it. And these kind of webinars or events that happen these days, they are so much useful to gain those practical knowledge. Earlier, when we used to have a physical event, it used to take a long time. Say, for example, if you want to have a session, just for example, this one session of 1 hour, it would take you half a day because you would get ready, dress up, go for the commute, go to the event, listen to the session, come back, chit chat, commute back home. So minimal, it will take half a day of yours, a lot of time and energy. So let's not just crib about this pandemic situation. There is always a silver line in every dark cloud. So with these platforms getting onto the digital media or the virtual webinars, we have access to a lot of things these days which can help build our skill set, expertise, or understanding of what we want to do and how do we want to do. It has given a lot of interesting ways to connect to the people we want to connect, right? So now let's quickly see what is this startup ecosystem or the network that we are talking about. So a startup, okay, somebody is drawing the right, Narayan, I don't know what, A startup ecosystem is formed, it's when you get into an entrepreneurial journey. I would not read the slide, I would just talk about the gist of the things. So when you get onto this entrepreneurial journey, what happens is you are not the only one who would make a difference to it. It's not about just what your product is or what you're good at. You need to imbibe and cater to all the segments that are there into the ecosystem. And these ecosystem, I would say, they comprise of 6 very important segments, right? Let's see who are they. Number one, I would say service providers. When I talk about the service provider, who are they? Service providers are those who help you get your company up and running. They would include the company secretaries, the first person who gets your company incorporated to Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The CAs, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs says that within 30 days of your incorporating the firm, you need to appoint an auditor, right? So that your company is compliant to all the rules and regulation. Trust me, guys, we all don't know these things. We all make mistake. I also made this mistake. And, I never knew that within 30 days, I have to appoint an auditor, and I did it much later. So that's okay. We all make mistakes and learn. What I'm trying to say that these CACS firm, they are a very important component of the entire ecosystem. Then if you move on to the other support players, they would include the IT service providers, because these days a lot of work, your website is just like having an address, right? You need to have a website. So you need somebody to help you have that digital address, right? So all of those pay, you would, when you start a small company also, you need some people to do the payroll things, you need some people to handhold your taxation, so your own companies or employees finances. So all these people come into the support role. You cannot do without them. The compliance team, the IT team, the finance team. So they are, and as a small startup, you cannot have them full time on your payroll. So they are the service provider, which are very important for the startup ecosystem. Then big companies, we have mentioned here, big companies, you would say how they are part of it. So big companies would be a part of the ecosystem in both ways. They could either be your supplier, right? When I say the supplier, they would be giving you some work, some assignment, some order, some outsourcing, so that you deliver their work. They could be your supplier for as a startup, or they could be your demand side buyer. You know, whatever you're procuring, whatever you're doing can be a supply segment to your to these big companies. When you do B2B business segment, they are again a very important component in the startup ecosystem. Universities, we cannot undermine the importance of universities or the academic centers these days, because we have a lot of incubators there. uh, Government has made it mandatory to have a e-cell or the entrepreneurship cell in each of the university. So now these e-cells or incubators, they are the I would say the factory which produces the entrepreneurs, the future entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurial journey is now taken as a career segment, a career choice. So they are the one which push out the talent or the potential into the market. So again, universities are important part of the components. Research organization, yes, a lot of product driven segments. You know, maybe what you are trying, your startup has an idea, where have you done that product development? They do come many a times from these research organizations, and that's a important component in the system. Funding organizations, very important. All of you must be interested in getting funded, from the seed funding to pre series A, series B, whatever the kind of funding, all the funding components, you know, the VC funds, the government schemes, the angel investors, the accelerators who connect you to these players. All these funding organizations are also very key component of your startup ecosystem. And last but not the least, the support organization. When I talk about the support organization, they are the players, they are the incubators, they are the accelerators, they are the team or network of group of people, something like MFL, something like all these other players in the market, those who conduct events, those who have some functions where, you know, networking happens, because that's also very important in the ecosystem, to know each other, to get onto the platform, right? So all these 6 pointers that's mentioned here, they encompass your entire startup ecosystem. It is formed by people, the startups in their various stages. They could be the early stage startup, the growth phase startup, the scale up startup, right? And that's where, once you know who are your key component in the system, that's where you would start interacting with these people. Because like most of you know, your network is just your is what your net worth is. Yeah, somebody wants to say something? No, okay. So that's what I was mentioning about the components of the startup ecosystem. Now, quickly, I would like to bring forward some of the key statistics or the numbers that would just enchant you guys about how our startup ecosystem is there in India. We are now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, next to US and China in our year-to-year growth. uh, Most of the 50,000 plus startups in India we have right now. And when we say startup, it is as per government, it is defined by firms or companies which are in the business from 0 to 7 years of age. That's what a typical definition of a startup is. uh, when we talk about the average year of founding, this is a very interesting drift that's happening in Indian startup ecosystem, where a lot of people who are young are now taking entrepreneurship as a career choice. Earlier, what used to happen was people in their 40s and 50s, after working for long, now they think, and having worked and earned for long, they used to think that they need to start their own. They need to start a firm. That was a old school of thought. But with the kind of change happening over the years, these millennials or the generation or the kind of support the government is giving, entrepreneurship being taken as a subject in the universities and research organization, there has been a drift where younger people have also started taking entrepreneurship as a career choice. And that's where the average age of founders have come down to 28 years. Why is this important? I would say it's like when you know who are the people you're dealing with, it makes your preparation much better. You know whom you're competing with, you know whom you're dealing with, right? When you know that they are the younger lot, you know how techno savvy they would be, right? Then what a 50 plus year old generation would be. So it's very important to know your target audience. It's very important to know your target customers. So this drift, I would say, which has happened in the last decade or something, where the average year of founders has drastically come down. So that's very important stats that you need to keep in mind. Another interesting data point is 85% of these startups are in metros, right? When we say that 85% of these startups are in metros, let's quickly see why. First, the question arises why? Because that's where the infrastructure is. Infrastructure to have the compliance, infrastructure to have the networks, infrastructure to get funded, right? But now with this post-pandemic era, like we have been mentioning, now let's focus on how entrepreneurship is being changed in this post-pandemic era. Now since a lot of things is happening digitally, now since a lot of remote working is the new normal, as we call it, so the workforce or the talent or the potential, that's again a shift that's happening from the metro cities to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So now with this potential brains getting onto the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, that would be a place where a lot of new startups would come up, because now everyone is now digital. See, you and I are talking today with this digital platform, right? So that's the beauty of, again, a post pandemic era when things have gone digital, right? So that's another important stats that you need to keep in mind. Currently 85% of them are in metros, because that's where the infrastructure is, that's where the incubators are, that's where the investors are. But that is changing gears, and I would not be surprised that after 10 years or something, this comes down to 60 or 65%. uh, that could happen, just like the average age of founders has come down. uh, Another interesting data that you could see here is uh, small chunk, a very small chunk, just 9% of these entrepreneurs are women entrepreneurs. Though the government is giving a lot of support, a lot of schemes, a lot of push for these women entrepreneurs, still we are lagging behind there. And the entire composition is still in single digit, that is 9%. But I would not look at it as a very depressing number, because Indian society or the kind of composition we are into, still not a lot of women workers are women are working. So leave aside they being the entrepreneurs. So that's a small number at the moment. But again, with the kind of support, encouragement, or the support the government is trying to give, that would also change. That's important to keep in mind. Why I wanted to bring forth this point is, you would again see the kind of composition of the people you would deal with, right? That's the entire agenda of telling you that who are the players in your entire ecosystem that you would handle or talk to, right? Another important point is there are more than 200 plus incubators and accelerators in the Indian scenario. Now, having said that, we have more than 200 incubators and accelerator in the country, can you imagine the kind of support that people are being given? The kind of support that the new founders or the entrepreneurs are given. So that's where the entire churn is. That's where the support that is there. The government is so much into the Atmanirbhar Bharat concept, going vocal for local. All these things, they are such a strong indicators, and this is the time to take out your entrepreneurial shoes and get into the market. Another interesting stats that I have put across here is 700 plus startups arising from unicorns. What do you mean by this? We all want to get into, uh, a unicorn segment, 1 billion USD club and all those things. It's not just a success mantra for them. What happens is those people, they became serial entrepreneurs. They have mastered the art, and that's where a lot new and a lot many more startups arise. The successful team, they would get on to make newer startups. So a lot of startups arise from these unicorns as well. So that's also interesting to see. And 40% incubator and is the annual growth. They are rising in the country. A lot of new incubators are coming. Incubators into the incubation are opening up into many universities and colleges. We will talk about the difference in incubator and accelerator in a while. And 14.5 billion USD funding in 2019. That's the power of investment that's happening in the startup ecosystem. So if you have a great idea, if you have a great team, trust me guys, get network and you would be able to get funding. Money would never stop your amazing ideas that you would be having. Now, having said that, let's quickly here only cover the point of incubators and accelerator, like I mentioned. So you guys must have been hearing a lot into what are incubators, accelerators. When we say that we have 200 plus incubators and accelerator in the country. So what are these and how are they different? Quickly, let's understand it from the top view first. With the government support side first, and then we'll get into the private side of the game. Government, in consultation with NITI Aayog, they formulated this Atal Incubation Mission. Atal Incubation Mission was formulated to encourage entrepreneurship in the country. Now with AIM or Atal Incubation Mission, they started releasing funds to have these Atal Incubation Centers in these universities. So you would be seeing a lot of these AICs, as you call it, AIC, Atal Incubation Centers in universities and colleges. Now they play a very pivotal role because they are privy to a lot of government scheme. They get funding from the government to help encourage the startups. And what is it? Now let's get on to the, there are other players who claim to be incubators in the private segment, though they are not from the AIC. So what does an incubator do? So incubator is a place which where the startups or entrepreneurs or founders come and sit together a very early stage. Incubator is something where people come at a very early stage of idea. Questions I could just see, I don't know from where it just popped up on my screen. Questions, I would take all the questions at the end. Let me first quickly cover this topic. So incubators are placed where the founders in their very early stage growth come in there. When I say about the early startups, that's an idea when you have just an idea, you are at an ideation level. you just or you don't even have an idea, you are just into a mode that you want to be an entrepreneur, or entrepreneurship is the career that you want to build into. That's a time when incubators come and support the players. That's where you could uh, sit among people of similar mindset, where they want to pursue their dreams. You can learn about your idea, you can streamline your idea, or what we call ideation stage, get your idea validated, do the market sizing, build your product, spearhead it with the technology support, all these kind of support. Look into what are the seed funds that available from the different government segments, and the kind of space that you can get in exchange of maybe equity and other things. That's where the incubators help you. So they are meant for very early stage startups, or at the ideation stage, or when you are just fine tuning your product to be market ready. That's the role of an incubator. On the other hand, when you talk about the accelerator, they are a little ahead in the journey. They are meant for you when you are done with your ideation or the product fine tuning, and you're already into the market and ready to take off or scale up. That's a time when you would be questions I could see, questions, hold on, why is it popping up? Okay, questions, hold on. Uh, so accelerator, that's the time when you are ready to scale up or grow your product a little more into the market, and you have done your product strategy, you have fine-tuned your startup concept, whatever it is, be it into the service line, be it into the manufacturing line, and now you need support from the investor side to get more money to scale up. And that is where accelerator come into play. Accelerators connect you to VC funds, accelerators connect you to angel networks, accelerators connect you to individual angel investors, so that they put in their money in exchange of definitely equity. Nothing is free, because investing is again a business to some of the people. They invest in you to make money. There is never a charity in the business world. So that's the stage where you need help of accelerator. So that's the broad difference when you talk about incubator. They are for early stage startup. Accelerator, they are for a little advanced or the growth stage startups. So that's the brief nutshell of the entire ecosystem, I would say. And these are some of the data, historical data, which may not be very important. This slide is again very interesting, how to build a startup ecosystem. I think we talked about the key players, each one of them in detail. What is an entrepreneurs, incubators? Oh, yes, interesting. Mentors, we missed the mentors. So mentors are, again, a very key player in the startup ecosystem. They are the people who have worked in the industry for over years and have learned from their mistakes and success, and they can share their experience with you to help you gain momentum. Why to reinvent the wheel if somebody has already learned from over the years? So they are the person who can help you accelerate your growth journey much faster. So never underestimate the power of these mentors who are there in the startup ecosystem. They can fine tune your product, they can help you network, they can help you get connected for your strategic tie-ups, and or just you can learn from their experience. Since the age has drastically shifted from the founders to in their mid 20s, I would say it's very important to gain or have access to people who have worked for years and years and have that experience. Experience बहुत matter करता है. So do keep an eye for the mentors in the startup ecosystem as well. We talked about the investors. Investors are those people who would put in their money in your startup in exchange of equity, and for them it has to be an investor is not somebody who would just invest in your idea. No investor invests just in an idea. Idea to koi bhi la sakta hai, guys. It is important to convert it. The implementation is what matters. So investor always puts in his money, definitely number one, to the good idea, and secondly to the team behind it. When I talk about the team behind it, it has to be the winning edge, the winning combination. Nobody would like to put money or invest in a company which is founded by a single founder, because then that is based on the whims and fancies of that one person. And God forbid, if something happens to that one person, the investor's money is gone for a toss. So a investor would always find it more comfortable to put in money to a startup where there are 2 to 3 co-founders at least. So that becomes very important, because for them it is a business. They are putting money into your business to make money out of it, and that's where they would see if you have a growth potential, so that they have a exit a clause intact there, so that they can exit when somebody else is putting in money at a much higher valuation. So investor game is another thing that you need to understand and build good rapport with, so that you are there in the market for a longer time. We talked about the service provider, we talked about the university, we talked about association and events. That's where you network, that's where you meet like-minded people. Earlier we used to have a lot of physical events, but now these web events are there. Then there are those networking platforms as well. You must have heard of them. A majority of them are just networking platform which are free, but there are few who charges fees, annual fees as well. And you network with the kind of people as well. Corporations, yes, we talked about the big companies out there. Government, definitely government is the one which regulate the entire business scenario out here. So they are definitely the regulatory side player. So they are the most important key player in the entire startup ecosystem. These are the important ingredients on the right side of the slide. We talked about them in most of my talks. So this is the entire how to build a startup ecosystem, get networked well, keep meeting and interacting with like-minded people, reach out to them. Also, you need to be very respectful to these people. It's not that if you have an access to them because of the digital media, that you would reach out. And yesterday only I received a text from somebody, and it was, I fail to understand why is that person given us such a message. I was on jury of some of the pitch session last weekend, and I gave my comment to those guys who were pitching for the startup, for the seed fund. And he answered something, and I'm like, okay, fair enough, we would that was just the point for you to improve on. And now that person is texting me on LinkedIn that I did this, I did that, what do you mean? I would not text one page response to him on LinkedIn. That's not the way to connect to people. You have to build that rapport. If you are seeking something, seek in a manner so that other is equally interested to help you out, right? It's not that if you have access to somebody, you can just be on the head. You need to be politely in a manner to learn. So these were the key components of the entire ecosystem, as I would say, that we have in the startup or the entrepreneurial world. Rest of my slide has a lot more things in detail when we talk about ideation, business plan, and that gets into a long discussion. Maybe some other session we can do on these things. Right now I would just, this one is interesting, I would cover this and then move on to the questions. This is since you guys are at an early stage startup, this is what we talk about when we say about the ideation stage or the idea validation stage. So whenever you have a want to do something, remember one thing at ideation stage, that whatever you are doing, it is something like solving a problem, right? There cannot be any key without a lock, right? अगर आपका idea जो है वो कोई problem solution provide करा, तो there has to be a problem. So finding that problem is very important, because that problem would in turn give you your potential market size, right? So at an ideation level, it's very important to find that problem. And when you find that problem, now answer for yourself, is it an important problem? Right? It's not just that, I have a fancy that I want to go to the moon. I, what is the outcome of it? Is it important? You are a founder or an entrepreneur because you want to have your startup successful and make money out of it. That is what business is all about. Business is all about making profitable startups and making money out of it, right? So that you have to gauge through your potential market size. And how would you do that? You have to look into it. Is it an important problem? जो भी आप solution provide कर रहे हो, is it an important problem? क्योंकि unless it is an important problem, nobody will buy your solution. Second, is it something you like doing on a daily basis? When we talk about this, it gives you a frequency of the solution being used. This would again give you the potential market size that you can get onto. So first, what is it important? That would give you a broader size of the market size. Is it something you like doing on a daily basis, monthly, weekly, whatever? This gives you frequency of the solution that would be used. That is the whatever the market size you have got, that would be into that many times, right? The frequency would be into that many size. So that is the manifold nature of your potential market size. And third, do you have an understanding of the problem? When we talk about this, you should be ready to see whether you have that skill set or not. Say, for example, if I am somebody who is into consulting advisory, do I have an expertise to draw a fintech product? Or if somebody is into fintech, can that person do an agri business? So you need to exploit your skill set as well and work towards the idea. So these are the basic initial things that you need to answer to yourself when you are at a very early ideation stage. So that's another important thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, the brief early stage idea or the entrepreneurial ecosystem as such. And now let's, keeping in view of the time, I'm just opening the floor for all the questions, and let me see what all I can answer in the time that we have left with us. Oh, there are a lot of them. Let me scroll up and see from the beginning. Let me pick them one by one. Ravi is saying, as student entrepreneurs, do we really need CAs for filing taxes? Yes, Ravi, there is no way out. It's the government. Say, for example, even if it is a kid who has to go to a court to file a petition, lawyer is the one who is authorized to do that, right? So you cannot file a tax without the help of a CA or a CS, which is a company secretary. They are the one who are licensed to do that. So you cannot do without them. That's the law of business. Ma'am, can you talk about your own experience with the service provider, expense, etc., and common mistake that entrepreneurs need to advise? So very interesting. It's saying PKB, whatever the full form of the name is. Interesting point. Like I said, we all learn from our mistakes. I have done a lot of them. So to take the first point of it, experience with the service provider, both good and bad. When I say both good and bad, initially, since I moved from a successful corporate background and I did not know about the compliances, the kind of CA or the CS that I had hired, they were charging me a lot more than what the market norm is. So, to get a digital signature, if the government fees is 500 rupees, I was asked for 7,000 rupees. And I did not know about the charges or the compliance or the rules and regulations. So, looking at the background that, okay, she was based in Europe or she had been a successful corporate career, she would be paying it. Initially, when I didn't know, I may have done it, but quickly I had checked it into the market rates and I could figure out. So there has been some bad experience as well. So you need to cross verify your data points from 2 or 3 places. That's my learning number 1. And then we moved on to have another CA who is with us for more than 3 years, and he has made my life like easier like hell. He tells me the quick smart tricks, also how to save money from things. He tells me a lot many other things as well. So it's very important to have a good CA. Other service providers, I would say, there are people who can help you with compliance, taxation. I'm also on board of Startup Buddy, which is a CA firm, and we help people from their compliance, incorporation, to IPR, patenting, uh, GST, taxation, everything. So these kind of players, including our own Startup Buddy services, we help startups. And this is, again, since it is catering specifically to the entrepreneur, this is very economical or less charge. That's the business model here. So that's to your question, uh, mm, PKB. Then Rajesh, do the incubators charge money or ask for share? Rajesh, interesting one. They work on both the models. There is no charity here. They can give you, they can buy stakes, that is into the equity, or they can give debt also. But then that if it is into the debt side of the game, the interest level is little higher. Most of the time they take equity or the shares onto the startup. And since at a very initial stage of entrepreneurial journey, since the valuation is less, it is like doesn't make any amount in the initial system. And if you are successful, they make money out of it. They exit out in the long run when your valuation goes house, and that's how they make money out of it. So yes, they do charge money. There is nothing like a free lunch. Too much money, Somnath Chandra. Okay, he's answering to much higher. Yes. How much? It depends upon how do you negotiate, what is your product line, what is the potential market growth and things like that. There is, again, no fixed formula in the business world. That's interesting. We can take that offline about how the practical rates are going on. How to understand the equity, my equity distribution. This is, sorry, Adeep, you need to understand your own equity distribution. Maybe, whether if you are a private limited company, you would be having definitely more than one director to there, and how your equities are distributed, and how do you want to dilute it further, what percentage you want to give it to the investor, to the incubators, to the mentors, whatever it is. And that is where we come up with a capitalization table, or the cap table as we call it. And that's the equity distribution model is made there. Ravi is saying thanks. Okay, Narayan is asking how to convert the idea to marketing plan. Narayan, that's an interesting question. Once you have the idea, that's step further. Then I tell this to a lot of players that you may be good with your product, you may be great with the technology, but you may or may not have the business acumen to do the business plan or the pitch deck. And that's where companies like MetaConnect Consulting, which is my firm, we do a lot of work into these, where we make the business plan, pitch deck, go-to-market strategy. Because the founders or the entrepreneurs, they may be having a great product, a great idea, a great innovation, but they may not be, since we come from a management consulting background, we know how businesses are done, what is the best business plan that would sail across, how the the marketing strategy would work, or what would be a successful pitch deck, that formula that has to be put in there so that investors are ready to look into it. So if you can make your own marketing or the business plan fair enough, else you can always outsource it to players who are there to make your pitch decks or the business plan or the marketing plans there. So that answers to you, Narayan. After that, we have question from Aniket. Do you provide startup review and or refinement services as well? Yes, Aniket, very nice point. There are times, like Narayan was asking about the marketing plan. We also do these pitch review or the critique, as we call it. So that, when a startup comes to us with their own platform already made, right? We do a review for them, and if required, whatever the refinement has to be done to this. Yes, we do provide those services, because most of the time base structure you guys can always prepare, but then it has to be customized and tailor made to the kind of that's going out in currently into the market. Uh, then another one is, Narayan, how to make a product based startup successful, because we all know all unicorns are service based. Not necessarily, not all unicorns are service based. There are product based as well into the system. And there is no fixed formula to give you that, this would be something that would be a unicorn. What what I would suggest would be the idea has to be unique. That's the USP. You know, if you're trying to replicate somebody, you can never be a unicorn. You need to come up with a unique idea, your unique selling proposition, USP, or the differentiator from the market. Need to do your background work very strongly. You need to do the idea validation, the market research, potential market sizing. You know, it's easy to say why to do so much of theoretical paperwork or the documentation work, but trust me guys, they are the one which make a difference, because otherwise as a founder you would be pulled in so many direction. Client खींच रहा होगा, investor खींच रहा होगा, supplier खींच रहा होगा, and then that leads to a ginger growth. You know, I call that ginger growth because आपने देखा होगा ginger, adrak, it's grows in all the direction, and then the growth is stunted. You need to stay focused. To stay focused, you need to have these documents in place. The documents that we talk about, the business plan, the year on year growth, the marketing strategy, the potential advertising policy, all these things, you know, so that has to be based on there. And that's the formula to get into the success. Otherwise, there is no fixed formula to become a unicorn. Rajesh is talking, can students afford MetaConnect Consulting or any funded startups can? No, Rajesh, that's an interesting one. No, everyone can afford the services. They are, you know, we all understand that startups are very frugal in the nature. When I say frugal, we all do our own bootstrapping. You know, put money from our own pocket, friends and family. That's how startup starts. Biocon भी garage से शुरू हुआ था, so you know that's how things start. So it's a very nominal charges that happen for these kind of services. If you talk about MetaConnect Consulting, yes, students can afford it, because this is something that we do as an advisory kind of a role for the startup ecosystem. Our bread and butter comes from the other two verticals, which is business research and strategy consulting, where we do charge heavily from the established clients. So do we have more questions? Guys, this is your chance to pop all your queries and questions. Ravi is asking, do you provide technical consulting as well? Yes, we do provide technical expertise or the product fine-tunement as well. So that's what we call into the mentoring services. And in that, the kind of model or the formula that's there in the system these days from us is like, if it is a very early stage startup, we get onto the equity or the share model. We get into the equity without charging the upfront fees. We charge some percent of stakes and help with the technical fine tuning of the product, just like any of the incubator does. So I think that is all the questions that I could see at the moment. Ayush, if you see more questions popping up, feel free to, you can reach me as well if you want to. Yes, Ayush. So in case you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me over LinkedIn. I shared my LinkedIn ID in the beginning. Feel free to follow our page, MetaConnect Consulting. That's where you can get a lot of these events that keeps happening. We keep posting them on our website. That's interesting to follow, see, learn, and you can also you know, look into what's happening, who are the players in the system, so that again, like I said, networking is important. So you could find the kind of people that you need to connect and collaborate. So feel free to do that. And I'm very much accessible on messaging. You can drop me an email if you need any more help. I would give you my email ID as well, a.prashad@metaconnect.in. So these are the three email IDs or the connect coordinates I could pass on to my LinkedIn, my company's LinkedIn, and my email ID. Feel free to reach out to me for any help that you need in the startup journey, whether it is incorporation, compliance, GST, taxation, IPR, business plan, marketing strategy, tie-ups, funding, whatever it is. We guys are happy to help you accelerate your journey and your dream. Ayush, anything else that
Thank you, ma'am. It was a lovely session. I think people don't have question right now at this moment, or might be some with.
So that's totally understandable. In case you don't have any more question right now, feel free to reach out to me in future, and keep soaring, keep
So
dreaming,
yeah,
keep.
guys, would be better if you use the chat box. Yes, ma'am. If you want, if you have some last word for as
No,
a
that's
recommendation to
that's
the
what I
people.
was saying. That keep dreaming high, keep converting your dreams to reality. Sky's the limit. Everyone starts somewhere, and that somewhere is, from the ground level. And people do achieve. That's where I shared my experience in the beginning. That from a typical kind of a job, I moved on to set up my own business. So anyone can. If I can, anyone can. Trust me, guys, and it's not impossible. Go for it. Entrepreneurship is much more satisfying and enriching in the long run. So with that, I would close the session for the day. Lovely talking to you all. Very energetic audience out there. And thanks, Ayush, for inviting me here. Thanks to MFL, and look forward to more future collaborations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, really, ma'am. Yeah, definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, if you want, like, you can leave this session because I'll
Yes.
wrapping this session at sharp 5. So yeah, I
Perfect.
will.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll leave now. Okay. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am. Goodbye, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
So guys, I have shared all the necessary link in the chat box. You can go through. If you have any question regarding anything, either you can pin me, I can connect with you, any of the mentor which we have. You can go through our handle. You can find there we have a lot of mentor there as well, so they can help out in at any point with you if you have a dream and you are willing for the same. If you are ready for to do something, we are there to help you out. So guys, I'm wrapping the session in 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. If you have any question, you can ask me as well. And do fill the feedback form as well. Thank you guys. Be productive. Stay at home. Don't waste your time. Utilize your time wisely. I've also shared the all the necessary link in the WhatsApp group, guys. If you want, you can find there as well. And thank you for joining. We will be keep bringing this kind of sessions, so stay tuned till then. If you have any question, you can still ask me out because still you have 2 minutes time.
টাকা কালামদার রেটে মারলে এগুলো অতটা
Definitely, Aniket, definitely.
মানে কি লেস শো দেখাবে না কিন্তু শুধু চশমাটা রাখার জন্য
So thank you guys. Goodbye. Like if you have any question, I have shared all the link in the group as well. You can find that as well. So thank you guys. Goodbye.